On this episode of Exactly How, you're going to learn how to multiply yourself, how to automate your business, and how to grow without having to do all the work. On this episode of Exactly How.
You're listening to the Exactly How podcast, where you'll hear the underground, closely guarded wealth-building secrets of successful people around the globe. Discover exactly how to improve your mental, physical, and financial health. Feel better, make more money, live, give, and prosper in today's exciting, fast-paced world filled with opportunity for those who know exactly how.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Connected Investors podcast and YouTube show, Exactly How. During this episode, you're going to discover exactly how to operate your real estate business in a much more efficient way, so you can have that lifestyle that you wanted when you first started investing in real estate. Those of you who are new, my name is Ross Hamilton, today's host and CEO of ConnectedInvestors.com. And today we have the privilege to learn from a man who has built an amazing business and a foundation for others to scale their business off of. This is the guy that you want to learn from. Prior to his career here in real estate and automation, he was a professional ice hockey player. But all that changed when he saw a void in the real estate industry, and he noticed many professionals were extremely busy with the day-to-day tasks, but they weren't really accomplishing much. So he solved that problem across the board. I would describe our guest as someone who has a passion for helping his clients build their business through automation and outsourcing. I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Bob LaChance. Bob, thank you so much for teaching us exactly how to make our businesses more efficient.
Ross, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this episode here because this is just one of those things that you have to always work on. You're never done at increasing the efficiency of your business, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And you look at your business, it changes every day. Whether you're brand new, right, it's going to change tomorrow. Whether you've been in business for 10 years, it just consistently changes with technology, with, different types of strategies in your business. So absolutely.
Yeah. And if, for any of you that are here that are seeing a lot of growth in your business right now, anytime your business doubles, you have to redo everything. Right when you think you have things ready, it's all right, well, our business is big. Now we have all these other layers. We have to increase efficiency because we have new things to automate. So cracking the code to me is really about being excited about making your business more efficient because it's something you always have to do. If you're brand new, actually, Bob, I'll let you answer this question. If someone's brand new, are they going to be able to learn something here, or is this just for people that have a business that's up and running, doing millions of dollars already?
It's from anybody who starts today to anyone who's making millions and millions of dollars.
Perfect. And what was really cool is before the show, whenever Bob told me about what he did, I asked him a few questions about some of his clients. And, we can't reveal who the clients are on this call, but he works with some of the biggest real estate hedge funds out there that are working on automating their efficiency and has seen firsthand the whole iBuyer craze that's kind of taking over the industry. So he has a unique perspective into the industry you're going to be able to really benefit from. So before we dive into exactly how to make our businesses more efficient, Bob, you contribute a lot of your success to your positivity, looking at things with the glass half full. Why do you think that has played such a big role in your success?
You know what? It's funny because we get hit by challenges and obstacles every single day. And I always look at it as you either have a growth mindset, fixed mindset. And the individuals that I've seen, the most successful individuals, always had that growth mindset, which means, if a challenge happens, there's always ways to overcome it. If you lose a deal, right, you have a property under contract, falls out of contract, it's not the end of the world, right? Tomorrow's still going to be there. You just keep going, you keep trucking along, because if you set that goal out there and you're trying to attain your goal, remember, real estate is a journey, right? It's not just a quick sprint. So you really have to look at why you're doing these things, what you want to accomplish out of real estate.
No, that's really that really sets the stage for some really important conversation we'll have real quick here. The obstacle, any challenges that you have, that is the way. If there's a challenge, that's actually like a sign pointing, saying, go this way, right? So the thing that stands in the way becomes the way. It gives you a new perspective once you've kind of pushed through that. So if you're struggling in any areas in your life, you can't go around it. You can't ignore it. Once you go through it, you've grown as a person, whether it's in your business or in your personal life. And that's kind of a stoic mindset there. but it's so true. So you have to love the challenges and the person that you become as a result of overcoming those challenges. And that's a great point, Bob. I really appreciate your perspective on that.
Yeah, and some of the things that you look at, and you nailed it. Some of the failures that you have, those are the best teaching moments, right? And there's a reason why we talked about this before we jumped on the call. You're part of a number of masterminds, so am I, right? So some of the things that maybe we haven't dealt with, we get to talk to our network, right? You have an incredible network, obviously, within your community that everybody gets to talk to and touch upon to be able to, possibly not have to go through those challenges that, we went through. But I think one takeaway is it's okay to, fail at one point, because it's always failing forward. You're always falling forward, and you're learning from everything that you fail from.
Yeah, that's a good point. One more little illustration here. Back when I was, my other life, I used to be a semi-professional BMX rider. So I was one of those guys that would hit jumps and do flips and spins and tail whips and bar spins. Huh? And I would come home, and if I wasn't like a little bit hurt in some way, it means I wasn't learning anything. It means I was just doing the things that I always knew I could do. So if a week went by and I wasn't bleeding a little bit, I'm like, all right, Ross, you need to get out of your comfort zone. So anyway,
I love it, because it's, you nail it, and relate that to exactly of real estate investing. It's kind of like if you start a marketing campaign, right? And you only do it for 1 week. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, right? But you're feeling that pain of 1 week. If you didn't close a deal in that 1 week, you got to keep going consistently. So it's just like you trying a new trick, right? For you to raise your bar and BMX, you have to try a new trick, and you're going to fall down probably 10 times before you actually nail it the next time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, everyone, what makes the Exactly How Financial Freedom podcast unique is every show comes with a detailed action plan, a blueprint that you can implement. Learning is important. Being here is half of it, but the other half is implementing the things that we're going to talk about here. So we spend a lot of time, energy, effort, and money taking these podcasts and breaking them down into an action plan. You can get all of that at exactlyhow.com. If you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and open up the description. We've piled it up with all sorts of good links, freebies, calculators, contracts. You heard Bob mention our social network, our community, our mobile app. If you're not a part of that, it's free. Make sure to check it out so you can connect with other real estate investors in your area within the Connected Investors ecosystem. So definitely visit exactlyhow.com. Plus, Bob is going to give you an amazing free gift that we're going to have on his show at exactlyhow.com. So you're definitely going to want to make it over there. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And just for visiting exactlyhow.com, you can throw your name in the hat to win our $3,000 software called PIN. This software pinpoints the best deals in any area all around the United States, all the most motivated sellers, and you can even see who's buying, how much they're paying for properties. It's everything you need to buy and sell investment real estate. So we're going to give it away to someone on this show right here. If you're watching it live, go to exactlyhow.com. Your name might get chosen. So, Bob, I'm really pumped here. Let's go ahead and define high level here. I always like to start from a 5th grade level with these shows. When you're talking about outsourcing and efficiency, just high level, what does that mean to you before we jump into the nuts and bolts?
Yeah, it's doing more in less time. We're all extremely busy. Again, whether you're brand new in real estate or whether you're in business for 10 plus years, 5 plus years, however long it is, it's really getting stuff done. It's multiplying yourself, because any business can be overwhelming, and the end result is actually taking a step back and saying, all right, how could I do more in less time?
Do more in less time. How to multiply yourself. That's really important, and having systems to go ahead and scale. So before we jumped on the line here and hit the button, we broke down today's show into 3 steps. We're going to talk about outsourcing. First, we're going to cover clarity, automation, and outsourcing, because you can't outsource until you have clarity and automation. So Bob, let's go ahead and just talk about the clarity aspect of what it takes to outsource real estate investing business or tasks.
Sure. When you start looking at clarity in our business, you look at, there's a lot of different, avenues to go in real estate investing. There's wholesaling, rehabbing, buy and hold. There's strategies where you could be a private lender. You could also go into subject to, et cetera, et cetera. I could go, down the line. When I look at it is, if you're brand new, you have to look at jumping in with one of them first, right? So if it's wholesaling, jump into wholesaling, and then become very good at wholesaling, then go into rehabbing. Because the natural progression typically works like this. I started back in 2004, and I've gone through a lot of different of these progressions. So the first thing when you look at wholesaling, I know you like to break things up into steps, and so do I. So if you look at wholesaling, for me, it's very simple. Number one, you need to build a buyer's list, right? Because you can't jump into wholesaling unless you have someone to buy your properties, properties you get under contract. So number one, it is building a buyer's list. Number two, it's creating a consistent marketing plan, right? Because obviously, first starts with buyers, then you're going to have to get motivated sellers to call you back, which is a consistent marketing plan. And finally, number three, it's negotiating. So if you look at all three of those, that's a very simple way to look at wholesaling, right? And what you want to add? Do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, no, I liked how you broke it down. And wholesaling is really important because it teaches you how to get good at finding deals. And if you can't find deals, there's no reason to do anything else. And if you don't get good at finding deals, you're going to be paying retail for properties and getting in trouble. So you broke it down, and you talked about building a buyer's list. So have you seen investors automate building their buyer's list or scale out building their buyer's list? How have you seen someone do that before?
So there's a lot of different ways. You could go on. There's some creative ways. Obviously, software, right? Cash buyer software. There's software that you obviously have that pinpoints where the buyers are buying, right? That's where I would focus on first. Focus on where the buyers are buying. So on the automate side, there's a lot of technology that does it. You could also go to LinkedIn, right? You sign up to. Here's what I do. All right, do you mind if I give you a little insight of what I do? Okay. Yeah, so I live in Connecticut. So I go to, I go on LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn a lot, and I'll look at the big groups, right? The real estate investor groups, like Connecticut Real Estate Association has one. So what you do is you become a member of that. And those are really where a lot of the buyers are going, right? That's one of them. Another one would be, getting cash buyers list from the MLS, let's say, and then pinpoint the area. Those are just two quick ones, obviously using software with a lot of data. So the manual ways would be going to like LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups. Those are really the manual ways you'll get them. You could do Google searches as well, but those are the three main ones. But I would definitely do technology first, because technology is the easiest way to get those typical motivated leads. I just want to take a step back on clarity. The other three steps of clarity I want to talk about are on the wholesaling side. There's three steps, and also the rehabbing side. So the three steps for rehabbing, if you decide to go that way, it's number one, you need to find the money, right? Because there's, I talk to a lot of new investors that want to jump into contracting, right? Or want to jump into rehabbing, I should say, that don't start first with money, right? So number one, if you have access to money, it's, finding private lenders. Obviously on your site, you offer that. But next to that is, have a contractor team, get a contractor on your team. So if you don't have money, you don't have contractors, you don't have a rehab business yet. And then finally, it's back to that marketing for motivated sellers. So if you look at those three, that's why I like breaking things down into 3 steps of efficiency, 3 steps of wholesaling, 3 steps of rehabbing.
Yeah, no, I get that. And you talked a little bit about money. So this is a great time. If you're on YouTube, which you all should be, you actually go into the description of this video, and I'm going to give you this book right here. You don't even have to put your email address in. The Inside Guide to Funding Investment Real Estate. This will take you through all of those steps. Funding always comes up in all of the shows. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and give away this book. This was not a self-published book. I actually got paid a lot of money up front to write this book because our company, privatelenders.com, facilitates $5 billion a month in funding requests for real estate investors. So that's huge. We wrote the book on it. Make sure to go ahead and click the link in the description, and you can go ahead and get this book. This way, the money won't be an issue anymore. So sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure our members had the resources they needed and give them something for free, so they don't have to buy it at Barnes and Noble for $20.
Love it. No, that's awesome. So, just going along those lines. So those are if you look at the clarity, taking a step back, the clarity, and then buying and hold, right? Buy and hold. Obviously you need the money, find the properties, and then market. So a lot of it has to do with 2 things, right? Money, buyers, or 3 things, and then marketing. It's consistent marketing. That's what I'm seeing since 2004. It hasn't changed. So it hasn't changed today.
Yeah, that's what's great. The model for this is still the same. There's just new efficiency steps. that you can do it manual and the hard way. And if you're going to do nothing or the hard way, do it the hard way, right? But once you get in there and start doing it the hard way, because you're being cheap, right? Yep. You don't want to buy the software. You don't want to hire a virtual assistant. You want to get that first deal done first, just with elbow grease. Sure, go that route. But once you're ready to make things more efficient, yes, you can use our software, pinpoints every landlord and every flipper in the area and shows you all the buyers. You can use some of the companies like Bob has that has virtual assistants that can do some of the manual stuff for you. I'd imagine they can even go on LinkedIn for you and do some of the prospecting on LinkedIn.
You know, it's funny. I actually have a lot of my buddies. I coach hockey. I have 3 kids and I coach ice hockey. And a lot of my buddies say, I saw your stuff on LinkedIn. I'm like, what stuff is that? So they're posting every single day. And that's part of brand. Right, brand awareness. My virtual assistants do that on a daily basis. That I don't even know what they post, but I know it's very good content on what they post. Like they'll post this podcast to just promote us and things like that. So, yep.
No, that's great. And you have a free gift that you're going to give away at exactlyhow.com. Can you explain what you're giving everyone?
Absolutely. So obviously we're on YouTube, so I printed it up. It's the 100+ tasks done for you that you could actually outsource to a virtual assistant. The reason why we created this, because we get a lot of questions saying, listen, I know I need help, but what do I do? What do I outsource first? So that's the reason why we created it. And it covers. We also found that there are real estate agents that are also investors that are also property managers. So we added some of those tasks as well inside our 100+ task list. So I figured, we fulfill those 3 levels of types of investors because I don't know if you're finding the same thing. For me, when I first started real estate investing, and then I got my license while I was investing for just different types of reasons that you probably talk about a lot. that I just don't want to go off on a tangent there. But anyway, just check it out, and I definitely highly recommend you definitely downloading it.
That's really helpful because you can look at that and say, all right, once I have these all outsourced, I'm free, right?
Yep.
And it's funny because I have this little sheet printed out that I should have in a frame in my office, but it shows all the things that I do. And it shows what's a $10 an hour task, what's a $100 an hour task, what's a $1,000 an hour task, what's a $10,000 an hour task, and what's a $100,000 an hour task. And I look at my day and I say, how much of my day did I spend doing the $10 an hour tasks? And it's literally, I am robbing my company as the CEO. I am robbing my company every time I'm doing a $10, an hour job. So you can start to kind of break your tasks in those pieces. And I've had to move up the stream. I've done it all, but you can kind of do that same thing and start outsourcing it.
And I love how you put that, because doing it first, then you'll start realizing what those $10 an hour tasks are. I heard this quote, if I can't remember, it was on a podcast that said, $10, if you're doing $10 an hour tasks or $10 an hour tasks, that will equate to $10 an hour bank account in the long run. If you keep doing those, right? Okay, repeatable. If you keep doing that, so that's what happens with your business. If you start looking at anyone's business, everything starts with marketing, right? Because we need leads. And I heard you talk about that on a number of your podcasts about marketing being, any type of business. Think about that. Apple, if their marketing is not good, they're not in business, right? It's just the way even
because their marketing is good.
That's right. That's exactly right. So
their products sucked for a long time.
Yep. And now they're at the top, right? They had to redo stuff. Yep. And that's okay. In businesses, that's what happens, right? You have to sometimes reinvent yourself. But you look at our real estate investing space. You look at any type of marketing. There's a lot of different avenues where, let's say logging onto your site, you get skip trace leads. But then now you have to add in direct mail, right? Or you're doing cold calling, text messages, ringless voicemails, social media marketing. Let's just use those 5 or 6 as an example. But the thing is, you have to consistently do them on a daily basis, right? And there are steps within each one of them to get done, like you talked about. And I think that, for me personally, when I first started outsourcing, I was saying to myself, I don't know if I want to outsource because nobody could do it as good as me, right? And then that's a mindset shift before you have to take a step back and say, all right, let me try to outsource this part of it. Before you know it, those tasks that you outsource, your business takes another level up. It just keeps getting better and better not because someone else is doing it 10 times better than you, but it allows you to take a step back, stuff consistently getting done, but now you could really work on building your business.
Yeah, no, that's really important for everyone to kind of understand the progression there. And it's, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this is the Connected Investors office here behind me. When we built and designed this office, I didn't even build myself an office because I didn't want to have a place that I had to be, right? Because I'm trying to be the consultant of the company, not the person who has to sign things on the day-to-day business. So that mindset's really important. Well, let's go ahead and talk about automating. So you got clarity, right? You figure out what you need to do. You understand the steps involved. Now let's talk about automating it.
Absolutely. You look at, so if we go back to that same example of wholesaling as an example, automating, you need somewhere to put your buyers, right? So you need to use a system, whatever kind of system that you use. If it's PIN, if it's something else, but you need a place to actually put all of your contacts in. And this is one thing that I messed up at the beginning of my career because I had contacts all over the place. I had buyers. I had, all of my leads that I needed to follow up. I never put them in a one centralized area. And that's one thing I'm kicking myself if I could go back and do, because you'll find that you'll have your top 5 buyers, then your top 10 buyers, then your top 15 buyers, both on the wholesaling side and also on the rehabbing side, right? You start building your contacts of lenders, of plumbers, lenders too, but you got plumbers, you got roofers, you got siding guys, right? So not only the buyers, but you also have your contractors, and you start segmenting all of your lists, even into lenders as well, right? Like we talked about earlier. And that's through automation. And now how automation, as you know, works, you could stay in front of your network way more often. Maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's a weekly post, whatever it is, you could stay in front of them through email, through text, whatever. I use this example all the time. One of my good buddies is a mortgage broker, but I haven't talked to him in about a month, right? And then I saw another buddy who said, yeah, Jim referred me over and he sent me a bunch of deals. And one of them was actually a wholesale deal because the guy was also a flipper. And I'm like, well, why didn't he send it to me? He's like, well, he talked to me the other day. And I'm like, that hit me. And I'm like, you know what? Now, if you really put everything together, it's because I didn't stay in front of them. That's really how that works, right? Whether it's lending, flipping, wholesaling, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not in front of them, you're missing out on deals.
Yeah. No, I remember I was at my local RIA, and a gentleman came down to talk about building your buyers list and building a database. And that was actually probably one of the things that sparked building Connected Investors, because I'm like, I need to build a database of every investor around the entire United States, and I need them coming to me. And then I'm like, we'll build Connected Investors out. And it was really important though, because one of the reasons I put so much of my money into building Connected Investors in the beginning is because the more people I knew, the more people I was staying in front of, the more money I was able to make.
Yeah.
Right.
And more opportunities, right?
Exactly. So you can do that very easily, doesn't cost much in today's world to have some sort of an email system set up. It just takes the discipline to make sure your contacts are where they're supposed to be. When you get a contact, don't just say, oh yeah, I'll do it later. No, just do it now.
Right. That's exactly right. That one contact could be 30, 40, 50 grand a year. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't cost you anything to move that over. So is there anything else you want to talk about automating? I would just say you got to start today. You pick whatever automation tool that you're going to use, because if you don't start today, it's going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you're going to realize, I wish I would have done it then. It's always tough to always go back and say, I wish I would have done it. And that's just a mistake that I made when I first started. And I don't want, anyone making that same mistake. And it's funny, you'll see individuals that have been in business for 5 years make the same mistake as well. It's being like, all right, I got to start today. Well, guess what? Today's today. Let's just start. Yeah. Perfect. Well, great. Actually, before we get into the third final step of today's show, the outsourcing, I need to announce the winner of the pre-MLS software. This individual listens to our show, comments on our stuff in YouTube, gives us likes, shares. That's really what we're looking for, engagement. I mean, we spend a lot of effort here to bring you this fantastic content, and all we want is a little bit of interaction from you. So the individual who is going home with the $3,000 software today is Terry Jackson. Terry, congratulations. Someone from our team right here will give you a call, get you all set up, get you up and running. And this could be exactly what you need to change your life. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about outsourcing now.
All right. So outsourcing, again, you look at how a real estate transaction happens. It first starts with marketing, then it goes to lead intake or acquisition. And then you look at, analyzing deals, because you have to look at analyzing deals, and then you make offers, and then you close on a property. So if you look at outsourcing, the first thing that I look at when I outsource is, all right, what is actually sapping my energy, right? If I look at all of the tasks, is it, I know I need to brand. If I need to brand my company, is it posting on social media every day, right? So if that's one of the things that really I look at and it saps my energy, I'm going to outsource that first to a virtual assistant. If it's, I'll use an example, and this is what I do in my business. I have cold callers calling. When I first started real estate, I would hammer the phones all the time. I started door knocking. Obviously, you can't outsource that to a virtual assistant, but you could outsource that to a door knocker in your area. But I would also go home after that. I would skip trace all of my leads like you offer, right? And within PIN, and I would call every single person that I door knocked. Now, what I'm doing now in my business is I'm outsourcing that to my virtual assistant team, where they're doing over 10,000+ calls a week, right? So they're hammering the phones with a list that I provide them. So my system is I do text and also outbound dial. So I pull a list, get it skip traced, upload it into the dialer, and I have my virtual assistants just hammer the phone on a daily basis. And the outcome that I want is somebody that raises their hand that says, hey, Bob, I am looking for anybody who says, yes, I'm interested in entertaining an offer. Because if they're interested in entertaining an offer, that doesn't mean they're hot, but that means that, hey, guess what? I am interested in an offer. So it's my job as an acquisition person, it's my partner's job as an acquisition person to turn that into money, whether it's a wholesale, a rehab opportunity. I know there's a lot of investor agents, or a listing opportunity, whatever it is. The idea is, to turn that lead into money. So that's the system that I do on the cold calling every single day. Same thing with text messaging. So I do those things along with ringless voicemail, but it's the same system. And I don't have to manage it. The only time I get involved is when somebody raises their hand that said, you know what, I would love to entertain an offer. Because that's the stuff that sapped my energy.
Yeah, you have an absolute machine there. You're getting the data from a place, you're skip tracing, which you guys can all do in PIN, and then you're just making sure that people are getting called. And Let me ask you this question. You ever call someone and it's the wrong phone number?
Absolutely, 100%.
What do you do when it's the wrong number?
What we do is I just take I take them off the list first and foremost, but I take that number and I'll skip trace it through maybe a different system, right? Rather than the one where I got that number from, because skip tracing is not 100% foolproof. You'll get some numbers that are off, and that's okay. It's a numbers game, right? And I do recommend, don't get discouraged if there's one or two numbers off, because, people change their number one day and then, they'll move to a different company. It's just part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. The answer I was looking for is I call the next number.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, it's exactly right.
Okay.
That's right.
With in our software, we have some of the most advanced skip tracing we could possibly conjure up, and we actually offer it for free, which is not very. Awesome. Which I think we're the only company that's smart enough to do that.
That's incredible. That is.
I called someone up and it was the wrong number. I'm like, call the next number.
That's exactly.
It's free, man.
That's right.
It's also it's great to send that person a postcard. You can get them on the phone. Get them on the phone. If you can't, send them a postcard. And
everything's not 100% foolproof, right? I mean, it's the skip tracing data you get, if there's a couple numbers off, like, it's part of the game, right?
Exactly. No, but that was a really good breakdown. And before we jumped on the call, you said you were talking about how you worked for some of these big hedge funds or iBuyers. Now, I don't want to know, I know you can't say who they are, You guys would know them if you heard them, heard the names. But can you just kind of explain what these people, these Wall Street backed funds with all of this money, what are they doing with you?
It's funny. They're doing a lot of the same stuff that we're doing on the ground, right? What they're doing is they're cold calling, they're text messaging, they're doing a bunch of direct mail. But what they do that a lot of smaller investors don't do, they have a really good follow-up system, right? Which we on the ground here, we plug in our virtual assistants to follow up on all of our leads that we have. Because, if you look at the statistic, you go to all these masterminds like you do, it takes anywhere from, and I know this ranges, 5 to 8 touches to get a deal, right? Only 2% of the properties typically close off the first touch, right? So we know that the back end of it is the most important part of, successful real estate investors out there of getting deals of the follow-up. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's great is it's all about going the extra mile. And I heard this quote the other day: "There's no traffic on the extra mile."
Yes, that's right.
When
I love it.
Reaching out to people multiple times, you're the only one that's doing that 99.9% of the time. So it's just interesting to see these people with hundreds of millions of dollars. They're coming on board doing these same exact strategies because they work. But it all starts with the data. How do I contact the person? Contacting them over and over again, getting them on the phone and selling the property.
And it's consistency too. I forgot to add that in there. They're doing it on a consistent basis, where I just came from a mastermind. We were just talking about this, and there are individuals in our room and they were closing 150 deals a year, which is obviously a lot of volume. But they were doing it consistently, and everyone stressed the same thing. Listen, you have to do this on a consistent basis. 1 month, you maybe have a down month, but you have to keep going, because over time, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Over time, your numbers work. You have to tweak things, right? Like we talked about a little, but that's part of the game. That's part of being, connected, obviously, to your group. It's part of being connected to, individuals in the space.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are brand new listening to this show, I'm so excited for you, because you're getting to see the, from the top back here. Like, what could a business really look like? How could this all fit together? And if you're brand new or you're doing less than 20 deals a year, in the description of this YouTube video, I've put a link to our best free training we've ever done that breaks everything down in real detail. We show you how to find these deals exactly. And I actually pull up the software and I demo it for you. We show you the buyers, all of the stuff that Bob's been talking about here. We break it down and I show it to you. And then if you work with a company like Bob's, which will have all of his company information on his page at exactlyhow.com, he can then do all of the follow-up for you. So his people can go into our system and do all the follow-up, do all the texts, do all the emails, do all the stuff like that. That's exactly what he does. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring him here, because he does it at scale for some of the biggest companies, out there.
Absolutely.
Well, great, man. Yeah, I'm really excited here. Do you have anything else you want to touch on when it comes to outsourcing? Like, where do people mess up when they try to outsource?
You know what? It's actually upfront where they mess up, and that's not being very clear on what tasks they want done. Well, first it starts with role. They're not clear what role they want. They're saying, I think I want a cold caller, but I also want someone to do my social media. Those are two different types of tasks, right? And think about this. If you're going to hire someone in your office, and your bookkeeper, as an example, is very good at bookkeeping. If I'm going to ask my bookkeeper to get on a phone and gauge seller motivation, I'm not really putting her in the right, the right seat to be successful for me. So you just gotta, number one, you gotta identify what role it is, and number two, just identify what tasks that you want done, because that's where I see some mix up. Number one, it's the role, and being clear on what that role is, and number two, the exact tasks that you want them to do.
Yeah, when you're outsourcing, these people are not going to figure it out. They're not going to fill in, many blanks. They want to know they're like a computer program.
Yep.
What exactly do I do? Program me to help you. Help me help you.
And it's the same thing, Ross. If somebody's going to hire someone in their office that's sitting right next to me, it's the same thing. We can't expect them to just, if they're sitting next to us, know what to do. We have to do the same thing. And a lot of investors I see, that's just one of the mistakes they make up front, saying, well, they should know. But exactly what you said, it's our job to identify that stuff.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, Bob. And for everyone who is listening, make sure to give us a like, a comment, a share. Visit the description of the YouTube video. Get your book. Get access to the training, the calculators, everything else that's in the training. And if you got your phone in front of you, download the Connected Investors mobile app. It allows you to see all of the real estate investors in your area. You can connect with them and message them directly, so you can wholesale them properties. And you can also see investment properties that other investors are selling and jump into discussions that are happening in your town. It's like a 24-hour RIA meeting right on your cell phone. The Connected Investors app, just search Connected Investors, download it, give it a 5-star. I'd really appreciate it. So do you have time to do the rapid fire section here? I know we're going a little bit over.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
I'd probably say an 8.
Get up early or stay up late?
Both.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
About 6.
Favorite or most recent book that you read?
I'd probably say Compound Effect by Darren Hardy and Leader Shift by John Maxwell.
That's a clever pun title there. I like that. If you could be any superhero, who would it be?
Superman.
What is something everyone should do less of?
Complain.
What is something everyone should do more of?
Work hard.
Bitcoin, bang or bust?
I'd probably have to say bang.
And will people visit Mars in your lifetime?
If they haven't done it yet, I'd probably have to say yes.
Yeah, so you're one of the. So you think people have been to Mars?
I think so. I mean, I figure they've been everywhere, right? I mean, why not?
There you go. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for being here with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, make sure to visit exactlyhow.com. Get the free gift, the 100 tasks that can be outsourced, help you bring some clarity there. We'll have all the information on Bob's company there as well. And you can go through the archive of all of our past trainings. If you like this training, you're going to love some of the past ones. We go through wholesaling, we go through direct mail, we go through marketing in detail. So the Exactly How podcast library is essentially like a full course that you could take. It's 100% free. It's because we love you and because you share, like, and comment on our stuff. All right. Another thing is you made it to the end of the show, which means you actually complete what you started. Congratulations. That's a really big, it's a really good indicator that you have what it takes to be successful. So again, I'll ask one more time, please give us a thumbs up, a like, a share, and I'll talk to you on the next Exactly How.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.